A ransomware gang called REvil is holding Apple's data hostage and has its sights set on more companies, too. Eamon Javers joins us right now. He's got more on this story. And Eamon, this sounds pretty concerning.
Yeah, it is concerning, Becky. This group was openly taunting Tim Cook of Apple earlier this week. They're demanding $50 million for the return of data from a Apple supplier and a supplier of many other technology companies called Quanta, which trades out of Taiwan. The question here, though, is who is REvil to be doing this? We talked to a number of experts over the past couple of days to figure that out, and it turns out that REvil is a well-known hacker gang. They are native Russian speakers in many cases, so the expectation is that they're in Eastern Europe or some of the former Soviet states. No one knows exactly who they are, but one thing we do know is that something has changed here with this hacker group. Take a look here at some data from Arete Incident Response. This is a hacker negotiating firm that goes in and negotiates with the bad guys for you when you've been hacked. And what they tell us is that they've traditionally targeted much different industries. Take a look now at the industries that they usually hack. This is their analysis of REvil because they've tangled with them a number of times in the past. They say professional services are 31% of the firms that REvil has targeted over the past couple of years. Healthcare, 19%. Manufacturing, 16%. So a big technology company is out of the usual pattern here for this hacking group. And then take a look at the cost breakdown. Again, this $50 million ransom really out of sync with what REvil has done in the past. The average ransom demand has been much, much lower, $728,000. The average ransom paid even lower than that because of these negotiators at companies like Arete Incident Response and others come in and negotiate that ransom down. So $129,000 is what the average payment has been. The maximum $3.1 million for REvil. And here's what it looks like when you get hacked. You actually get a hostage node digitally on your systems, and it looks like this. Your network has been infected. This is a letter from REvil to the good guys saying, we've got your data, you have to pay up, and there's a warning there, you don't have that much time, and sometimes they even have a countdown clock on that. We talked with Mark Bleicher of Arete Incident Response, who said that even though these guys are typically much smaller in their demands, they can be very, very aggressive, particularly with the leadership of the companies. Here's what he said.
If they don't hear from the victim after they hit them, they will resort to what you see in public shaming or calling them out. We've also seen them quite a bit call the actual organization, so call the CEO. They'll have their email address or their mobile phone and harass them.
So what Mark is saying there is they'll actually get the CEO's cell number because they've stolen the data. They know exactly what his or her personal cell is that they carry on their person. They'll call them and taunt them in person over the phone. You can imagine the reaction that gets from CEOs and then the action that spurs on down the line in that company and all the consultants who are working on this. They do try to negotiate the price down. In this case, we don't have any news that there's been a second data dump. REvil threatened to dump more Apple data this week. They have not done that yet, at least as of last night, as of the experts that we talked to are looking on the dark web for this stuff. That hasn't happened yet. That could be an indication that negotiations are ongoing, or this hacking group is simply waiting to see what kind of response it gets from Apple and from Quanta. But these are well-known bad guys who are now upping their game to something very different than what we've seen in the past, Becky.
Hey, Eamon, I've always thought of these ransomware things happening to small businesses, small companies, non-tech savvy sort of companies. We wouldn't know about this if it weren't for the hackers saying it. It's not like Apple is coming out and saying that this is happening. Do you think this happens to big companies more frequently than we realize?
It does. And what Mark Bleicher told us yesterday is that this company has set its sights on many more large brands. And we could be about to see a wave of this kind of thing hitting big technology companies and big companies in other industries as well. So it seems like even though you're dealing with some sophisticated players here in terms of their own cybersecurity defenses, these guys have figured out a way in, not clear what that way is, and they're upping their game in terms of the size of the companies they're looking for and the huge demands for ransom. $50 million is a lot of money. Not likely they'll get that much, but this company may decide it has to pay.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.